What's a small thing someone did for you that meant a lot to you? I was in a toxic relationship for years and was basically begging to be treated with respect and meet bare minimum. I went on a trip with my friends, and when we were going home from the trip, my allergies were acting up and I was using restaurant napkins. My best friend, now my husband, eventually stopped at a gas station not to gas up but to get me a box of soft tissue because the restaurant napkins were rough on my nose and upper lip. I've never felt so cared for. I didn't ask for a stop or anything. I was just gonna sit through the 2-hour drive with those rough napkins. For the first time in my life, someone treated me with some type of decency instead of just letting me be. I wanted to cry out of shock and confusion. Also, the one time my husband wiped off soap from my face while showering together during the early days of our relationship. I cried at his gentle touch. My ex used to push me against the cold shower wall for fun or throw cold water over me while I shower, among other things. I'm safe now. They smiled to me exactly when I need it. My best friend at the time gave me a long handwritten note on my birthday, and she also texted me a big-ass paragraph on New Year's when I wasn't particularly excited, and it made me feel great. My boyfriend was the first one to change his phone's wallpaper to a photo of us. Met up for a drink with a friend last night and she brought me a bouquet of roses and hyacinths. My now husband traveling over 200 miles on a train to comfort me when my grandfather died of cancer. He raised me since I was a baby. He was in his final year of college and stayed with me for 2 weeks. I couldn't have been more grateful for the support. A little kid made a comment about something I was wearing. I, in fact, was scared to wear it out because of where I lived. Made me feel like maybe it is okay to just openly be myself. Funny thing is, it was just headphones, but it made my day. I actually made a genuine friend at my workplace before the pandemic. I got the flu, then returned to work after a couple of days. After I returned, she hugged me excitedly. I never saw someone in my entire life ever so excited to see me. She's actually a very genuine person and we're still friends to this day. My first job as a service shop apprentice was unpaid because I had to complete some work time in order to get my diploma. One day a customer comes in for servicing on his bike, but we look it over and we tell him it's gonna take more than just some routine bits. He says fine, but asks if we can drop him off somewhere else first so that he can get home easier. As the apprentice, the task fell to me, so we get on his bike and we ride a few km down. Since our shop was in a place with fairly high traffic, he'd have trouble getting out of with public transit. Once we reach our destination, he gets off and I get on to ride the bike back to the shop. But before I leave, the guy hands me a €2 coin as a tip for doing him this favor. I was not expecting it. It's not very common to tip mechanics, let alone apprentices, and I rode away with the kickstand down and he had to yell from across the street for me to put it back up. Embarrassing to say the least, and I hope he didn't regret giving me his bike the moment he saw that. What he didn't know was that I was flustered because those €2 were the first money I ever made by myself from work. I was baked a chocolate mud cake, which is my favorite, as a thank you from a client when they finished the program I worked with them on. They didn't know it was my favorite cake, and I didn't expect anything from them, other than goodbye. It actually made me cry cause I've never had someone do something like that before. For the record, it was a really good cake too. With 2 flat tires, I had to walk 2 miles to go get groceries in the rain. I must have looked pretty rough. The store employee rang everything up, then gave me a 50% discount. These weren't items on sale, there was no promotion. I said, "Oh my goodness, thank you." And she said, "Just get home safe. There are good people in this world." I was drained from hanging out with friends who ditched me on a night out. Before I sleep, I always play this game, and my gaming buddy noticed I was online and accompanied me with all the tasks event of she already completed it. The conversations we had throughout the game made me realize how I wasted my time going out when I could be genuinely happy playing with this person. Someone that noticed my username from one of my shitposts and promised to send me nudes once I graduated from medical school. Sure enough, she remembered her promises several months and later. I thought about it recently since I've recently graduated from residency. It was a nice graduation present and a nice reminder that someone enjoyed my Reddit posts and thought about me several months later. What's even more funny about the story is that she got into medical school the very next year. My car was stuck in the snow, blocking a back lane behind my house. It was at the intersection of the main road, so it was very visible. I was probably digging and pushing for over an hour and not a single soul stopped to help. Got honked at though, that really meant a lot. People are cunts. When I was working retail, part of our uniforms were an apron and we could put whatever pins we wanted on them. I had a pin of a Subaru Outback and a customer said he really liked it, so I took it off my apron to give it to him just because I thought it would be nice. He gave me a pin of a whale shark in return and told me I was a really good person. I was so close to tears it wasn't long after my grandpa had passed and whale sharks were his thing. I hope that stranger knows how much that meant to me that day. Help me up after getting literally trampled on. Neighbor fixed us a delicious dinner after my partner getting out of the hospital. When I was living in Asia many years ago, I had just finished the last year of my first contract and needed a change in my workplace. A friend of mine told me that his high school, he was a teacher, was opening a new university as part of an educational foundation they were establishing. Long story short, he wangled me in an interview. I obviously had what the uni wanted, and was offered the job right there then, got a really good lunch out of it, too. Parlayed that serendipitous moment into a 22-year stint as an assistant professor at the uni and will be forever grateful to my friend for his consideration and kindness. This job allowed me travel and life opportunities, experiences I could never have otherwise imagined. I slept on the couch last night because I was sick. When I woke up in the morning, my boyfriend had put an extra blanket on me before he left for work. Simply being my friend, just knowing she cares about me had stopped me from doing a lot of stuff.